Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pacific Pokemon Podcast, where we talk about Pokemon with a focus on VGC. If you like what we do, help us out by clicking that subscribe button and liking the video. Check out the link in the description to join our Discord server, too. Thanks! Anyway, I'm Lindsay, and my Pokemon choice this week is Annihilate.
And I'm Bambi, and I'm on vacation right now. Uh, I'm in Sacramento a week before Sacramento regionals for a music festival, going over a few days, and so I'm filming from my car right now. And my Pokemon of the week is gonna be Mousehold.
I love how you're choosing the best partner to go with Annihilate for this week, out of sheer chance.
Well, the thing is I've been using Mousehold with Infernape lately.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try and see in what I can actually like figure out for coverage actually is viable, and not Annihilate, excuse me, Infernape is one of the best coverage mons in the game.
Fire and Fighting has always been a really good offensive typing, and
Not only that, but its coverage, its move pool is huge
it is.
in typing. On top of that, being able to get access to the Iron Fist uh, bonus to everything. Basically, when you get that Life Orb bonus, it is a 1.5 times boost to your base damage.
Yeah, all in all, Iron Fist 1.2 with Life Orb 1.3. Yeah, that sounds actually pretty
choice,
devastating. Because that's in effect, Infernape's attack stats aren't outstanding at 108, but like that's also still respectable.
Usually, with the right if you're getting the right coverage and the right matchups, you can, in positioning it well enough, you can run it reliably and like sweep through like 2 or 3 Pokemon in a team with just single targeting moves.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. I might have to look into Infernape a good bit more. I haven't really considered him in this meta.
I will say though, it is extremely squishy, and like when you lose that redirection support, like it's really tough. You got to make sure that you're playing it, honestly, pretty close to how you're playing like a non bulk upset Annihilate in a way.
Gotcha.
Like you got to make sure you're protecting it still.
I can handle that, I think, though.
I think you can too. I think you'll get a lot of fun out of being able to have the U-turn option.
I do. I love a U-turn. I love a fast U-turn too. I've been using that a lot with Choice Scarf Lando lately, because Landorus is on, I feel like, almost as many teams as Fluttermane right now. Like Landorus is so up there in popularity.
It really is, but like the thing is, I feel like it's one of those Pokemon that is like people who have been using Landorus for like generations at this point are still using Landorus, and that's what we're seeing. Not necessarily Landorus being like a Pokemon that is so prevalent that you have to run it like you do. Like
that's fair.
Sometimes when you got your team and then you need a ghost type, you have to use Flutter.
Yeah, which I mean, a lot of people are doing that this generation. They're just like, oh, I want a Fairy type Fluttermane. Fairy type Fluttermane. Ghost type Fluttermane. Or Goldengo.
Yeah.
Being like literally the one other option for a lot of these players.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Annihilate alongside Mousehold. I've been doing more of that Final Gambit strat though. Scarf Final Gambit. And it's really fun using like Clangorous Soul Como-O next to Final Gambit Ape and just Final Gambiting the one thing in the lead that can actually hurt Como-O.
That's true.
And just buffing and sending Sinistra in on the next turn to heal up right after
get rid of the damage. Take care of that.
So I take out a whole Pokemon and I get my Sinistcha in to boost. It's really fun. It's Kitakami Prologue, best of one cheese, but it's great.
I can imagine. Like, I mean, like when I first started playing Annihilate cheese teams, I went with like
Okay.
a Terra Steel set with a Frangard wide lens uh,
Yep.
block bomb,
Yep. Yep.
and I also added sand to the team.
Added what?
Added sand. So I got
Oh
Tyranitar in there
gosh.
too with it. So
And no.
my original draft was Terra
Oh,
Rock, though, not Terra
oh,
Steel.
okay. That makes sense.
Terra Rock was
The
my
special
original.
defense boost is incredible. If only Rock type was a little bit more defensive.
Yeah, honestly, I could really see Rock type getting some adjustments in future generations.
That would
Just
be
like what they
nice,
did with
but
Dark and Steel over time, and how those interact.
a little bit,
Um,
yeah. Maybe. We can hope. Right?
we can hope, but like at the end of the day, we don't know how game breaking that would be with what their goals for that any specific generation would be, because that's what
Yeah.
they kind of cater everything to. It's like they cater to the Pokemon designs. You know, they want to put together a cohesive uh, idea where the the choices they make in their game design and like stats and everything
Mm-hmm.
are reflective of and of like the same quality as that the artists have when they're designing what like Synesthete looks like, you know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, yeah.
Synestia. You know, they want it to be like because that's how you get big. They just demonstrate immersion in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best ways to make the game a lot more interesting and entertaining in the process as well. By having those like
Yeah.
really well designed and well thought out concepts executed. Um, but before we dive into the contents of this episode this week, I wanted to go over a little bit of what I've been using as my Kitakami Prologue team because I feel like I cooked up some really pretty fun stuff here on this team. And I already kind of mentioned a little bit of it. This is the Annihilate and Mousehold team with the Como-O and the Clangorous Soul Final Gambit Annihilate combination. So Mousehold, Sinistcha, and Politoed and Basculegion are the team core here. Now, what's fun is Como-O has Soundproof ability, and Politoed has Perish Song. So you can lead with Como-O and Annihilate with Sinistra in the back and Politoed. You Clangorous Soul Final Gambit. You send in Sinistra, you get some healing. You've got Life Dew on Sinistra as well to heal up. Strength Sap and Matcha Gotcha. It's a really tanky
Ridiculous.
set. Como-O is able to do a lot of damage that way as well. And then whenever either of them faints, you have Perish Song to sweep what's left. If Como-O's out still, then you've also got a fast Pokemon immune to the Perish Song on the field. And the Politoed is also super low speed, so that it's more likely to be the slowest thing in the Perish Song. Also, fun fact, Politoed with 0 special attack investment, not even a special attack boosting nature, Weather Ball can OHKO Ogerpon.
That's ridiculous.
That OHKO's Ogerpon, Hearthflame, and Cornerstone. Both are the neutral damage ones. And obviously, if they Terra, it's twice as much damage, so.
Wow, so Politoed has a substantial niche now.
Yeah.
Over Pelipper.
I feel like
being able to have access to the Weather Ball. No, I think that is incredible, actually. I didn't know that at all.
Because in the rain, you get a base power 100 single target water attack that's stab. Like, that's better than Surf in single target.
I might need to consider running Rain.
I think it's really good in best of one. You know, I don't know that it's going to be great in best of 3 open team sheets, especially because this team has cheese that's pretty obvious if you just read a sheet. But looking at, you know, a 6v6, bring 4, you don't. Mousehold and Annihilate is notoriously the combination known to be really difficult to face in best of 1 because you don't know what you're going up against. It could be bulk up, beat up, friend guard set. You know, Terra Fire, Terra Water, Annihilate, or it could be Scarf Final Gambit.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting. A Population Bomb is just a nightmare no matter what. Like,
Pokemon's like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're gonna get.
You really don't. And what's so great with this team is Basculegion is also just a really fun closeout sweeper too. So you can lead Como-O and Annihilate with Politoed and Basculegion. So you perish Song in the middle of the battle. Sack your own Politoed on that. Sure, okay. Pick up KOs and then bring in Basculegion to last respects, delete everything that's left.
Step 3 profit.
It's so fun. I have not actually done any matches on the official Kitakami Prologue yet. All of the matches that I'm basing this info from is on Showdown's Kitakami Prologue set or whatever that they opened up earlier this week. I just finished building my Basculegion this morning for the actual prologue.
Nice.
In-game.
Good job.
So now I get to go and test it out.
I personally am not going to be playing in the prologue.
A little busy this weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my head clear of Pokemon a little bit this weekend. But I'm definitely, like, when there's not a band playing, I'm definitely on my phone playing Showdown.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, like, I'm still, like, trying to, like, figure out, like, a version of Heart Trick Room that I really like. But, like, trying to figure out, like, which bear. I recently saw Neil's new video on Ursaluna and how I got to rank 1 with it. I really want to see how far I can take Blood Moon again and maybe pick it back up. I think maybe what it ran into was new toy syndrome, and we just quite weren't ready for its positioning and what it could handle.
Yeah.
And I think what ended up very well could have been happening with my Blood Moon team that I used early on when in DLC when it came out was that I was just putting it in positions where it wasn't going to be successful.
Yeah. I feel like people a lot of the time early on were playing, and tell me if you feel like this rings true to you or not, but I feel like a lot of Ursaluna players with Blood Moon early on looked at it and they were like, oh, nice, this is just a special Ursaluna that's a tiny bit faster. And they basically just played it like a special Ursaluna. Flat out. And the rest of its stat distribution doesn't quite line up there well enough. You know, it's got a lower HP stat a little bit, and its defenses are a little bit different as well. And so it kind of has to avoid different hits, and with different terrestrialization and whatnot too, you know, different main stab moves, etc., and being a spread move hitter more than single target, it plays so differently. And I feel like a lot of people were playing it just like, oh, hey, it's a special Ursaluna. Let me just slap it on where my old Ursaluna was and go from there.
I'm guilty of that. I think if I end up running Blood Moon or Blood Moon does well in Sacramento, I will be having to fill out a Blood Moon Ursaluna apology form and posting it to Twitter. Excuse me, X.
X. Blood Moon is... I haven't used it much myself still so far.
I'm gonna be honest. I like clicking the big funny button, and it happens. I feel like you get to click big funny buttons more often with Blood Moon than you do with Wholesome Bear.
Yeah, I feel like probably because you can just like Terra normal gem and stuff like that. Which then makes Blood Moon like a one-hit KO on probably even Dusclops. And absurdly bulky Pokemon like that, you know? One-hit KO Cresselia with Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's probably enough on the Kitakami prologue teams and stuff for now. We'll come back to
Yeah.
the prologue a little bit later. But we've got so many events going on this week, so many things happening. We're going to start with the online events this time around. Start with some of the stuff that we've seen on Limitless that's been happening. There's been quite a few pretty good tournaments. We got 5 tournaments with at least close to 100 players. Looking at 79 as the lowest. But I mean, like, these tours are very recurring and consistently pulling a good player base nowadays, which is really fantastic. I think this is just, I'm so excited seeing this consistent numbers for things like the Wide League's Saturday Night Rumble. They do this every Saturday. This one had 120 players, was it, I think?
Yeah.
No, 92 for this one. Sorry, 120 is Himmy's tour. Excuse me. Yep. Number 10, but I mean 120 players on that. He runs those, I think, bi-weekly or weekly as well.
They're weekly.
Yep. So these tours are really pulling in some fantastic, consistent numbers in early Regulation E, which is really cool. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. I played in a couple of previous Y leagues. I never did well in them though. But this last week we got some really cool teams. But at the end of the day, it looks like 2-2-2.
It's really becoming a core. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've and I'm gonna be honest, I've been watching Nino and Himmy and Joker and some other folks on Twitch use the 2-2-2 to so much outstanding success. Also, shout out to Nino Pokebros. Congratulations on getting rank 69 the other day. Nice.
Nice.
The 2-2-2, the thing about it is it's a lot like playing rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. It narrows everything down to either one or the other, basically.
Exactly. And Ogerpon just fits right into the Chiyu slot perfectly.
It does. Yeah, the old 2-2-2 being, for those who may not know, being the Dragonite Shenpao, Tatsugiri Dondozo, Fluttermane Chiyu. Because each of those is just a single, very oppressive two Pokemon pair. That just, you put one of them in the lead and they do a lot.
This team works really well for people who can make good lead calls, especially. Yeah. I've been thinking about using this team, but the problem with me and this team is it's got that gosh darn dirty Dozo on it. And I've still been hesitant to use Dozo with Tatsugiri. I think at the end of the day, Dozo without Tatsu or Tatsu without Dozo is better. Still.
Hey, that's fair enough. I mean, they don't always synergize great.
At least, like for me, like I mean, I have a lot more of a general broad view with my hangups on Dozo. I just think I think for right now, for where we're at and where we've been at with Scarlet and Violet, I think it works great. I don't think it's going to carry to other generations well at all. The gimmick of the combo of the two.
That depends, I feel like, if on whether they keep terrestrialization around or not. Because if they keep Terra around, then holy cow, it's gonna survive. But without Terra,
I don't think they'll keep Terra around.
I don't think so, but they have hinted at,
I don't think it works. I don't know if it works without the Terra.
Yeah, I agree there definitely. Like, it's nowhere near as oppressive without terrestrialization, because then you can just swap in something that's capable of KOing a decently bulky water type, and you just instant
Exactly.
win. You don't have to
Yes.
factor in the Terra type and the defensive typing there. And oh, hey, now both of my Pokemon have to be able to KO this Dozo easily. One for the water Dozo, one for the grass Terra Dozo. Anyway.
One of the things too about the Ogre Pond being here,
Mm-hmm.
that it has the benefit of is that you can go Ogre Pond Chimpao, whereas
Yeah,
it was a lot harder to go Chiyu Chimpao
true. Or
because you're
even like
running double
Chiyu
dark,
Dragonite or anything else like that.
like double dark types with abilities that just make each other weaker.
True. And typing wise, Chien-Pao and Chi-Yu don't have much of a defensive difference. Both are actively weak to Iron Hands, who is number
Yep.
2 consistently right now, along with Fluttermane and Ogrepon in that like top of the meta. So yeah, gotta have a better matchup against that Iron Hands for sure.
Bad news.
Congratulations though to Conkledonk, who was the one who piloted the
I really
2-2-2
I really
at the
wish
Wide
I
League.
just noticed this. I really wish Indeedee Armor Rouge won this though.
Right? They came in second. This team I
But
have actually heard about with the Enamorous Therian.
yeah,
Think.
I when I first saw this team,
Yeah.
I was thinking about like potentially running it myself. I haven't looked into it enough yet, but like after seeing that it's already got like great results, um,
Uh,
like not only that, but like making it to finals in like a tour like in an online tour like this is, and even if it's not winning finals, like I've been in that position of being in second place before, and it just makes it feel like maybe this is a team that like I can actually like take and pilot well,
mm-hmm.
um, get results with.
Yeah, it's a really neat team. And it's kind of got that 2-2-2 going for it as well. Almost.
It does. It's got a
It's
lot of
got
hard position.
the Torkoal Lilligant and then the Indeedee Armarouge, which are a 2 and a 2, and then just
Mhm.
2 other Trick Room Mons that go well with that, or Saluna and Enamorous. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Amorous is really cool. I still just think it is not picking up because it's in a different game and it's hard to get in that different game. You have to put in a lot of hours to get it, and I think that's why we're still not seeing them in VGC.
I
Uh,
think also the fact that like you can't easily get a 0 speed one. Like you really can't easily get a 0 speed one. You have to reset an entire playthrough and beat the game and recapture a whole new one to try for a 0 speed. So like everybody who's competitive is like, I'm not gonna bring it. I can't do my calcs well enough to, like counter the speed tiers for an Enamorous Theory in Trick Room.
and if you don't, and if you're running into a mirror, you just lose.
Yeah, if they happen to have that lower speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Unfortunate, but hopefully they give us like an Enamorous Terror Raid or something. That would be really
Oh,
cool.
now there's an idea, like being able to bring back legends from other games and having that be the way they bring everything together, um, and because I don't think they're going to do max raid battles.
No, definitely not like the way that they did it before, not like the Dynamax adventure or anything like that. Unless there's
Hmm.
some kind of whole underground terrestrial cavern or whatever under the Blueberry Academy that they have us go into or something like that. Which I mean,
Well,
maybe, but
we're gonna get up. Can I get a little off topic real quick?
yeah, go for it. Hit it.
Okay, so hear me out. The only place outside of Paldea that we've seen the crystals has been underwater.
Yeah.
What if there's another just huge like Terra crystal outbreak right underneath of Blueberry Academy, like some sort of like
Hmm.
crystal Atlantis in a way.
That's
Like a
probably the origin point, is my
yeah,
guess,
so
considering Terrapagos anyway.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking is gonna be going. I think there's definitely like hidden labs and whatnot, and like I feel like so far, like okay, I know we've gotten like the storyline with Kiki, as Carmen calls him, and that's a
Kieran.
little
Yeah.
and that has a little twist at the end. And the
Mm-hmm.
Loyal Three, it's kind of got like a really dark, like some really dark themes in it
Just a
and
bit.
outcomes that I mean,
Like, what
they,
happened to
they,
Ogerpon's trainer? Did they kill him?
they did.
Yikes. Right?
And
Yikes.
we got that, but we do not have um, any uh, like substantial evil team.
True.
There, the world has not ended, or been ending in this game whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's
I mean, there was like the punk bases, Team Star or whatever, right? Who were rebelling against the school.
yep,
But I guess that's about it. Maybe Team Star makes a comeback somehow?
no. Um, what I think would be cool would be if they brought like some sort of evil team in from like Alola, like they're like that corporation or like Selfco or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Some sort like or maybe like the bad guy of this gen is like the bureaucracy of the Pokemon League and the Academy system.
Secretly, it
In the
was
end,
GEETA all along.
secretly, 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 Grisha was the hero.
Secretly, Grusha's the hero. Yeah. I love it.
Um,
Oh, that would be
uh,
hilarious.
yeah,
And then your dragon
that
professor is just crying off in the corner.
that guy I think is actually evil.
He cries though. He's such a
I
big
think
baby.
I think that guy's one of the bad ones in the Dragon Clan. I don't know, but
But yeah,
anyway,
back to tournaments, eh?
theories aside, yeah.
That was a fun theory side cut though. Definitely fun. Um,
uh,
other
yeah.
top names in the Wide Leagues tournament that are worth noting: Carson VGC showed up, and Sempra both in the top 8. Carson came in 6th, and Sempra in 5th. Sempra brought in King Gambit, Ogerpon, Heatran, Iron Hands, Landorus, and Fluttermane, and Carson bringing that same Trick Room team that we've seen from him a bit recently. The Indeedee, Armarouge, Hatterene, Dark Urshifu, the Durshifu, Ursaluna, and Torkoal. Cool seeing Trick Room still actually coming in both 2nd and 6th. It feels like it's actually in a pretty good position in the metagame right now.
Yeah, right now I feel like we're in a position where Trick Room setters haven't been powered out yet.
Yeah.
And Trick Room sweepers haven't been walled out. So it's got a lot of good balance in its viability right
Mm-hmm.
now.
You know what else I
Uh,
actually find interesting is there's no Dusclops. Like everybody was talking about Dusclops coming back for Trick Room, and there's no Dusclops anywhere. Where's the Dusclops, guys?
waiting for Porygon 2, buddy.
That's fair. Definitely fair.
I mean, like honestly, I've been using Dusclops and Porygon 2 as my hard Trick Room setters for close to a decade now.
Yeah. I feel like it would
Um,
work well
and
with Cresselia though, wouldn't it?
it can, but the problem is that you can't get the same like swap potential
Oh, true, because yeah, they're both
because you
weak to
share
Dark
so
and Shot
many
and Ghost together. Yeah.
exactly. So you don't get the security in being able to make your opponents make a hard read on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
You can't
sense.
you can't punish for a hard read when you use the Cresselia Dusclops. And that's just a big reason why Porygon 2. Don't hate me for this. Porygon 2 is a better trick room setter than Cresselia.
I won't
Um,
disagree there. It's probably one of the bulkiest in the entire metagame, and has
It is
really good
one of the only
access to overall
Pokemon
moves.
that can actually withstand bulk in restricted formats, even.
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible. And I mean, Cresselia also just got nerfed defensively this generation too, so that's another thing to keep in mind on that. In that comparison.
And that, I think, actually really does mess with their potential to be partners in setting up quite heavily. Not being able to take the same like spread damage moves and whatnot, like double spreads and things like that.
Yeah, Dazzle Heat
Is
Wave, I bet, is survivable better
yeah.
on Porygon's side, probably.
Yep.
But yeah, back to our actual tournament coverage here before we get too derailed on what's coming in DLC 2. Other top contenders in the Wide League tournament. Third place actually brought in a Cantonian Moltres, which is really cool. I just want to comment on that one.
Sableye VGC bought into Moltres stocks early. And I think that it's had enough time since like we got it. Like, and it's gotten enough coverage over time to where it can actually adapt into the meta now with the right positioning and the right partners.
Flame Body is finally a really good ability too.
Yes, Flame Body is not bad.
Definitely helps it a lot, I think. Iron Hands, Gyarados, Ogerpon, Goldengo, Grimmsnarl being the partners to that Moltres. That's definitely a bulky Moltres. Mago Berry, Flame Body, Terra Dragon, with Roost, Tailwind, Air Slash, and Heat Wave. Just a generally decent speed control mon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. So moving on to the Himmy Glizzy Tour, number 10. $50 for first place too, which is pretty nice.
And an invitation to the Nino Bros Invitational.
Oh, that's right. This was, I think, the last invitation, right?
It was the last invitation.
Yep, I do remember seeing that go out in the
an
Nino's
invite.
Discords. But yeah, congratulations to Amando, who won with Alolan Ninetales and Snow. So A9 and bundle with Rillaboom and Ogerpon, Landorus and Urshifu.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really does. I feel like that whole team is very weak to ice, though. Or very weak to fire, I mean. Like, half of that whole team is weak to fire. Rillaboom, Bundle, and Alolan Ninetales don't handle that very well.
Yeah, it definitely gets off by not having to deal with heat waves.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, Rapid Strike Urshifu is a great counter to all of that, too. So, there is that. As well as Landorus, Scarf holding Landorus with Stomping Tantrum. Does a lot, you know?
Yep.
Otherwise, second place had a bit of an interesting team as well. It's very common meta core. Fluttermane, Chiyu, Iron Hands, Ogerpon, Tornadus, and then a Mamoswine. Which this is the first time I've seen Mamoswine.
Or Life Orb.
Sash, actually.
Oh, Sash one.
Sash,
Wow.
Oblivious, Ghost Terra Mamo with high horsepower, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard.
That's actually pretty cool. Pretty good tech.
It's a very neat Mamoswine, to say the least. Yeah, I very much would have expected Band or Life Orb as well.
Yeah.
Looking at this. Booster Fluttermane. This Booster Fluttermane is everywhere. The Icy Wind. Speed Booster. Booster Fluttermane. I'm seeing this all over the place nowadays for speed control.
Yeah. It is was really popular in the last regulation, and it's continuing to be pervasive.
Yeah, definitely. And the only thing that can really outspeed it in that scenario is Booster Bundle, too. So, or using something, with a Scarf, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, third place brought a Milotic, which this is the first Milotic that I've seen near top at all. Ogerpon, Iron Hands, Farigiraf, Landorus, Roaring Moon, and Milotic. Roaring Moon and
Yep.
Milotic together. Probably because Roaring Moon draws in a lot of Intimidates. And I really want to intimidate that thing. And then Milotic's just there to say, too bad.
Yep.
Also, they're running a Coil Hypnosis set, which is interesting. With Hydro Pump instead of Scald. Why do you hate yourself? Sir, Coco,
They like
how did you get 9 and 2?
Poco, please use Scald.
Using
Please.
Hydro Pump
Stop.
over Scald. What?
You're making too many risky decisions in your life, and we're here to intervene.
Oh, you know why, though? Coil. That actually
Yeah.
does make sense. You just have to coil first.
Yep.
And then it's basically 100% accurate, and you actually get
But still, please.
all of the boosts. But yeah, that just... Alright, that's an interesting set. You know, Coil Hypnosis, Hydro Pump, Milotic. Yikes. What a meta. Ice does really well into that, though. Probably how it won. Fourth place came in with the Blood Moon and Galarian Moltres, Hisuian, Arcanine, Fluttermane, and Rillaboom and Rapid Strike Urshifu.
Hold up. Galarian Moltres is
Yep.
this with the Blood Moon. That's some really cool tech. I really like that coverage.
Yeah, it's actually really neat. Rillaboom, Rapid Urshifu, Hisuian, Arcanine, Fluttermane, Blood Moon, and the Galarian Moltres. Tailwind on the Moltres as well, even on the Galarian version, which usually you don't see Tailwind on Galarian Moltres, but that's pretty
One
good.
of the things, too, I'm pretty sure, but like with the Tailwind, I think like that two speed will allow it to that two more like that 52 that the Blood Moon has with that Tailwind will allow it to like outspeed like Landorus.
Maybe. I haven't run the calcs on that specifically, so I can't say for sure, but I could see that. I could see that. Stat distribution wise. Makes sense. So, yeah, that could be a really nice speed benchmark there. Surprisingly enough.
I wonder if it's max speed.
Yeah, if only we got that kind of info out of Limitless standings post-tournament, you know, that would be cool. But maybe one day. Anyway, Himmy's tour done. We got another new tour coming in, or newer tour. Newer tour series doing really well. The Lum Berry Beatdown coming in now with 96 players in this recent tournament.
This one's run by our pal Cody Clark.
Ah, these are Cody's tours. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yep, and Sloth Diesel.
Yep,
helps out with them too.
Yep, of course. So these are Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. For those who are interested. But a lot of good players, all in all, showing up to these still too. A lot of consistent online tour players really popping up in these here as well. Kirudu coming in at 9 and 1. With Iron Hands, Ogerpon, Chi-Yu, Tornadus, Goldengo, and Landorus. Therian, of course.
So I really like this team because I think that it's actually utilizing the Goldengo Chi-Yu like properly with its not stats, its typings on the rest of the team. I think it works out really well here.
It's a Wellspring Ogerpon too.
Yep.
And then this one is, I don't know for sure if this is the same team that you're thinking of, but this is Scarf Chi-Yu, Specs Goldengo, and Banded Landorus T.
Yep, the triple choice one. Yeah.
Heavy commitment to that, but it does have really good coverage. offensively and defensively.
Whenever you're doing triple choice, in my opinion, I feel like triple choice doesn't matter what Pokemon it is, like they're on. Doesn't matter what the other 3 Pokemon are, because you're so hard committed. I feel like it's a hyper offense.
Yeah, I agree there. Honestly, like it's a very consistently offensive team, even if it's a trick room based team with all 3 or something like that. You know, you've got a really slow specs and slow band or something. It's
like
still hyper offense.
And you're running the same risks too.
Yeah, it's still equally as hyper aggressive. So definitely an interesting team though. With the water Ogerpon to support with Follow Me and just raw damage because that's Ogerpon.
Yeah. I love Wellspring Ogerpon so much.
I love all of Ogerpons. I'm not even using Ogerpon for Sacramento or the Kitakami Prologue right now either. I kind of hate myself for it.
Don't.
But yeah, it is what it is there, you know?
Yeah.
Second place, bringing similar Pokemon. Very meta. You know, Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Iron Hands, Ogerpon, Landorus, and Chien-Pao. Not a whole lot to go over there. Third place has a Gothitelle. I feel like that's a competitive Gothitelle. It is not. It is a Shadow Tag Gothitelle. But you don't have any Perish Song.
You don't need it. A lot of people just like it for the hard control.
Yeah. It is hard board control, and it does lock opponents out from switches that they sometimes really need.
Exactly. It's right now, like, pivoting cores are stronger than ever.
True,
and
yeah.
It's just a way to answer that.
It is a good answer into the heavy pivot, especially like the Scarf U-turn Landorus lead, you know, like Intimidate and then Scarf U-turn out. You prevent that, and
it will force them to click U-turn and bull switches.
Yeah.
If they want to do it.
And they just keep doing it, which is not a fun position to be in. I know that for sure. Getting shadow tagged into U-turn on a Scarf land up. No. That sounds like pain.
What's the Terra type on this one again?
On the Goth?
Yeah.
Dark.
Oh, wow.
Dark Terra to avoid the Prankster taunt from Tornadus, more than likely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dodge all of Prankster shenanigans. Because, I mean, Prankster is basically the main support right now. Grimmsnarl and or Tornadus being the supporters. Well,
yeah.
and Thundurus. Excuse me. Grimmsnarl and the 2 genies. But yeah. Side comment to 5th place because his name is Piloswine Fan, but he is not bringing a Mamoswine. Shame on you, man.
Why you no run Piloswine? Why no Eviolite?
Eviolite Piloswine. It's an interesting meta call, I guess. You could try it. I'm sure it works somewhere.
Fun.
No, but he is bringing a snow team, so I mean, I can't be too mad there. He's got the Alolan Ninetales in the back's Caliber, so maybe he tried to run the Mamoswine and just couldn't make it happen and had to switch it for the backs. Who knows?
That's probably what unlikely ended up happening.
Who knows?
Either way, change your user.
Bring your swine.
Bring your swine or change your user. Please.
Nah, but kudos to them still for going 7-1.
Yeah.
Good performance with a snow team.
It's kind of interesting how snow is developing right now.
Yeah.
It was a really, really, really rough start.
It really was. Like yeah. Snow's been all over the place this generation. But I'm very happy that Alolan Ninetales finally exists because now we're doing better.
Yep.
Next down on our list, we got the SpearPillar, which is finally hosting another Scarlet and Violet tournament instead of their multi-generational series that they've been hosting mostly recently. But they hosted a Peoria prep tournament last week that came out with Mikal Beste winning it all, and Aura Rayquaza coming in second. 2 names that I have seen quite a bit in the recent Top Cut of online tours.
Definitely some familiar names that have been around for a little while, or quite a while, I would say. Um,
Yeah.
I think they're definitely people to take a look at what tournaments they're going to be running in regionals and where they're going to be at.
Yeah, I believe both of them are European players, so more than
Yeah,
likely in the EUIC circuit.
I could very well see either of these players top cutting
Yeah.
in the EUIC.
Oh, definitely. McCulder brought a completely regulation D team with Iron Hands, Iron Bundle, Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Landorus Therian, and Amoonguss. First time in a while I've seen Amoonguss in much of tournaments, and it's in both first and second place.
It's been on ladder in the a couple weeks ago. It was on ladder a bit.
Fair enough.
It's gone down a bit more since then. Amoonguss is in a really awkward power grab right now, like power struggle with Ogerpon.
Ogerpon, Rillaboom, and Sinistra, I think, right?
Yeah, the
Too
because
many
now
grass.
they're three viable options for grass types, so like you're not pinned into running the Amoonguss as just being the best option, like you were in every previous regulation.
Truly, though. Every previous regulation was very Amoonguss dominant for grass, except for
Except for Reg D, where we got Lilligant, swinging Lilligant a bit, I would say.
True. A little bit,
There
but it
was
was still a very niche choice in the end.
Yeah,
You
Among
know,
Us was still just more prevalent,
yeah, 40
but
something percent usage.
these these other three have like actually solid usage.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've all gotten somewhat buffed recently or introduced, for Ogerpon and Sinistra. But Rillaboom
and
got Grassy
yeah,
Glide back, which, I mean, people weren't even sure if that was going to happen at all. Grassy Glide and
yeah,
High Horsepower, both of which are phenomenal returns for Rillaboom. So, yeah. Aura Rayquaza also bringing a Regulation D team, so it's kind of funny seeing that Regulation D... Oh, no, he has Ogerpon on here. Just kidding. Regulation D plus Ogerpon. But it's very top meta. It's very, consistent. We're looking at Tornadus, Fluttermane, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, Iron Bundle, or no, sorry, not Hearthflame, Wellspring. Ogerpon, the Wellspring, the Water Pond, and Amoonguss, Landorus, T, and Iron Bundle. So, I mean, pretty common stuff there. Specs Flutter, Tailwind, Rain Dance, Tornadus. Yeah, Booster Bundle, and Scarf Lando. Yep. Scarf Lando meta, if you weren't already aware. Everybody who's
yeah.
running Landorus is running Scarf.
That's what I was running in the beginning. It's always what ends up being the most viable. We always come
Consistently.
back to Lando. Everybody's always like AV citrus whenever we get it back, but like it's it's always going to end up boiling down to a Scarp Lando.
Yeah. End of the day, it just is the most consistent.
Its attack stat does not lie.
Not at all. Especially not on that one. Gosh, you can invest like 100 EVs into its attack stat, and it already has the same stats as like a max 130 base.
Yep.
Like a max attack Garchomp.
Just because you're crossing so many thresholds.
Yeah, it's incredible.
In EVs, yep.
Yeah. 222 making its way in that tournament a bit as well. Ogerpon Rillaboom being a version of that. Ogerpon Rillaboom, Tatsu Dozo, and Glimora Flutter. Kind of a 222. A different variation for sure, but like all of them very obviously two Pokemon cores that benefit off of each other. Interestingly enough, 6th place has a Pokemon that's been on my mind a bit recently that I really wasn't sure if I was going to see it again, and that's Talonflame.
Yeah, I noticed this Talonflame when we were looking into tournaments earlier this week, and I think that it's like I think Talonflame is for people who right now are people who have been using it a while and just feel really comfortable, or just feel super comfortable with it.
Possibly. Yeah.
There are people who will use Talonflame as a Tailwind setter no matter what.
True.
I think one of the biggest things that Talonflame offers right now is that we got a lot of fairy things going on right now,
Yeah.
and it takes those things a lot better.
It does. It definitely does. An interesting Talonflame set too. This is a Life Orb Swords Dance. One attack.
It's also a
Talonflame.
tail setter that can do well in snow.
Yeah, true. I feel like this Talonflame is just like built to sit on the field if your opponent decides to ignore it. That's how this
Exactly.
set reads to me. Like, you click Tailwind turn 1. If they ignore it, you click Sword Stance. If they continue to ignore it, you just Brave Bird. With Life Orb Brave Bird Sword
A lot
Stance at
like having
max
a
HP. Like,
decoy support.
yeah, no kidding. And especially alongside a bundle with Encore. That can be
Yes.
very obnoxious. Ooh, Heat Proof, Calm Mind, Sinistra, too. That is an interesting one. One more of the online tours here. We got Tommy's Tuesday tour. This one realistically is very top meta. 222 coming in the top. Very common core coming in second place as well. Looking at Fluttermane, Landorus, Ogerpon, Iron Hands, Tornadus. With a Clefairy thrown in for a little bit of friend guard. Otherwise, a lot of these teams are starting to kind of even out to very consistent combinations. Seeing the new variations of 222 or Old Trick Room. Tom himself bringing Old Trick Room to his tour with the Dershifu. So that same Dershifu Ursaluna Psy Spam team from earlier.
He is the definition of NDD armors.
Well,
I mean, awesome guy. I love meeting him in Portland.
seems like a cool dude. I didn't get the chance to meet him myself, but he seems like a fun guy.
Yeah, I played against him in the PC in day 2.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice. Heck yeah. But yeah, so that's gonna cover it for the online tournaments. In terms of other tournaments, obviously Peoria Regionals is happening this weekend. Right now, it's currently ongoing. Day 1 at the moment. The Kitakami Prologue also has started, as we mentioned. There is no CP reward on the Kitakami Prologue. It's just battle points.
Thank goodness.
So, yeah.
I am so happy there's no CP reward.
Honestly,
Oh my
so am
gosh.
I. It's a very restricted format for a CP reward. That would be a little bit salt-inducing for a lot of players. Otherwise, I've been enjoying it overall. Sacramento's next weekend, which both of us will be at, even though you're in Sacramento right now, you're going to be there again next weekend to play Pokemon.
Yeah, I am ridiculous.
Going to be pretty great. And yeah, there's other regionals this month, but we covered those a bit more in depth in the last episode. So I will say go check that out, or check out Pokemon Company's calendar, because that is readily available if you are looking to find out what all of the upcoming events in competitive are, because there's a lot of them. We're also looking at a lot more locals lately popping up. So check around your local area. I know at least in the Seattle metro area, there are multiple locals in quite a few of the major cities. You know, Redmond, Linwood, Seattle, Renton, Bellevue, all over this region. There's quite a few.
Glenn's been going again. It's been good. I think it's going to be continued to be a good show throughout the season.
Yeah, it seems like we've picked up full steam ahead, you know, right now in Regulation E, and everybody's on board with it. So it's a lot of fun. Get out there and go jump right in, you know.
I think part of the reason for that is that Ogerpon coming out early on ladder honestly helped us like ease into things. So I think it was a blessing in disguise, you know.
I have to agree there. Honestly, getting access to Ogerpon and like Fezandipity, the Loyal Trio, etc.
Yeah.
In early ladder, I think actually really helped kickstart everybody's interest in diving straight in when the official regulation dropped.
Yes.
Finally, for in-game events, about the only thing left that we didn't discuss yet today. Totally changed up the order in how we talk about stuff, but that's okay. In-game events, we got Hisuian Decidueye's Terra Raid going on this weekend. It is also returning next weekend. Make sure you dive in to that. It's a grass Terra. Has the moves Triple Arrow, Brave Bird, Shadow Claw, and Leaf Blade, and then it uses Bulk Up, Sword Stance, Grassy Terrain, and Leaf Storm at specific intervals. The Poison type is really good. Bring a Poison type. Toxtricity is kind of the main number one that I've seen popping around on YouTube right now because the Electric type also resists Brave Bird. It's really handy. Fezandipity is a decent option as well if you only have the DLC and you don't want to go hunt yourself a Toxtricity for whatever reason. It does get access to all of the same main moves, being Taunt, Acid Spray, and Sludge Bomb. Taunt stops the Bulk Up in Sword Stance and Grassy Terrain. But it can't boost its own damage output, which is huge, honestly. Really huge.
Yeah, that's a nice change.
Because Scrappy with that damage output, yikes. You know?
Yeah.
Fezandipity also gets access to Roost, which is kind of a neat addition there. So that one's kind of a decent choice too. Otherwise, Detective Pikachu is a thing for all of you massive sleuthing fans. Detective Pikachu's out. There's some fun events in Pokemon Go where you can get Detective Pikachu and Detective Slowpoke as well, which is kind of neat. Or at least like Top Hat Slowpoke. I don't know. I haven't played the Detective Pikachu game or followed it much yet, so not sure who he is. He's just showing up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, hi Slowpoke. You're wearing a hat.
He's voiced by Danny DeVito.
Is he actually though?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. For half a second, I thought you like actually knew already, and I was like, "You're kidding me? That would be amazing." But
I saw the twinkle in your eye, and I didn't have the heart to tell you no. I need to let you come to terms with it on your own.
I mean, I believe not, but like that would have been hilarious at the same time.
How amazing it would it be? Oh my gosh, I want more Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito as Slowpoke would have been incredible. All right, everybody. I think that's where we're going to call it an episode for today. Head down to the link in the description and check out our Discord. Join there for news, etc. on Sacramento. We will both be there. So join the Discord, hit us up, and we will be able to find you at the tournament and hang out and stuff like that.
Yep.
Maybe drop a like or sub if you feel like it. How are you guys liking Regulation E so far? Let us know in the comments down below. And that's going to be it from us today.
All right, bye guys.
Thanks everybody for coming by. Have a beautiful day. Catch you next week.